Good day to all of you. I'm Shamini Pereira from Sri Lanka Technological Campus, and I'm more than happy to moderate this panel discussion today, which is aimed at providing a lot of information and valuable advice to our younger generation who is looking forward to start their higher education soon after their school life. And to provide you with that valuable information, we have the respected panelists present here today. Let me introduce to you the expected panelists here with us today. Starting from Dr. Nanda Gunawardana, who is the Director, International Affairs and Research at Sri Lanka Technological Campus. And we also have Dr. Hilary Silva, who is also the Head of School of Business at Sri Lanka Technological Campus. And today, the world of education has taken a completely different direction with the pandemic that we are faced. This has also led to numerous changes in the world of work as well. Therefore, the employers today are seeking for people who can immediately adjust to any challenging circumstances in the business environment and who could always take a strong leadership to bring about new changes in the environment that we live in. So keeping this in mind, the younger generation who comes into the society and who is looking for higher education options should be able to look for the opportunities or foresee the opportunities that they have to pursue their higher education, as well as look for the best places that they are given the opportunity to develop the skills and the adaptability that they need to be successfully employed in the given industry. So considering this fact, Sri Lanka Technological Campus has organized this panel discussion to guide you through certain factors that you might have to pay attention to in developing your life in the coming years. So to start with, my first question is to Dr. Nanda Gunawardana, who is also being recognized as the Young Scientist in 2015. And sir, you being a guidance and also a coach in the field of higher education, to the students who are looking forward to start their higher education, what would be your advice? Is it the next option that is available for them for the higher education? If so, based on what factors should they decide on their focus on higher education? Is it by looking for an opportunity that they can start off a career soon after their degree, or is it something that they should look for, something that passionates them, or is it something that they should follow because someone else or their elders would want them to follow, or is it something that allows them to develop that right skill and behavior to be a person who any employer would be fighting to have them in their organizations? Over to you, Dr. Nanda.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shamini. As you mentioned, now we have two groups actually. After A-level, now most of our students are seeking opportunities in their life. I think I want to highlight that opportunities, because when it comes to different junctures, you have to take quick decision and right decision. So if you can take right and quick decision, then you can groom the way you want. That is the fundamental idea. So when it comes to the higher education, now if you want to select a good university, there are certain criteria and well-established norms in the world. So I want to highlight some of the norms. Number one is educational program. So you have to have a very high quality educational programs if you want to select a good university. If you think about the education program, so to conduct a good high quality education programs up to international standard, we need high quality, well qualified trained staff members. So for an example, in SLTC we have more than 40 PhD degrees. Those who got PhDs from abroad, and they came back to Sri Lanka with the new knowledge, and they have seen the world different way, and they can convey that knowledge to the student. That is very important. So The second thing is, I am from science background actually. For the science, engineering and technology, we need to have very good labs. So without labs, you cannot conduct practicals, hands-on experience and so on. So without that, you cannot be a good engineer, good technician or good scientist. That is the second one. The third one is the quality of the program itself, the content of the program. You have to have a very modern program which should be suitable for the 21st century. Those are the three main things. In addition to that, we need to have a proper place and proper environment. What does that mean? So in world-class universities, they have residential facilities. If you think about the best universities in the world, they have residential facilities and they have very good recreational facilities. Now gyms, libraries and canteens, hostels, those are like a part of the student life, because ultimately we want to produce a well-rounded graduate student from Sri Lanka. So those are the main criteria that we want to highlight in our program. I think later on we can discuss about the other unique features of SLTC programs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nanda, for your valuable information that was shared. And now, today, I also said that we have another respected panelist who is also well known both in the private sector as well as in the public sector for his contribution made to develop and guide people for better achievements in their organizational performance. That is Dr. Hilary Silva, who is the school head of the School of Business at Sri Lanka Technological Campus. Dr. Hilary, you've been highly involved in the private and the public sector. I'm sure you are more than aware about the importance of the entrepreneurial role in the modern context. What is your idea about the entrepreneur's role today to the industry, and what does SLTC do to develop this entrepreneurial mindset, especially focused at the School of Business and all the activities that we do? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shamini. I think this is a good question. All of us, at the end of the program, after completion of the degree, either you prefer to find a good job or to be a good businessman. I mean, the business means basically, the what to product, what is the product you want to produce, how to produce, what type of resources you have to plan it out, etc. And also especially how to change based on the environment. I think, especially business program, as Dr. Nanda clearly mentioned, we have to acceptable graduates in this world, you have to have a good program, quality staff, quality of the subject content and a good environment. The SLTC actually, our intention to produce the globally accepted graduates, employable graduates. So that's why, that when we develop the course outline, so we communicate with the industry people and ask from them what type of qualities, what type of capacity, skills you are expecting from the business graduates. Not only the business, I mean other degree program as well. Industry expertise involvement is with us. So after finalizing the detailed syllabi, for delivery purpose, we decide to recruit the high-end academic as well as the highly exposed industry expertise. That means the delivery part is done by the senior faculty members internally as well as the externally. That's mean a visiting faculty are industry experienced people. So at the same time, when we talk about the delivery process, we always think about how to give the experience to our students. As I said, in our SLTC degree program, after completion of the first year, 3 months we call 3 months industry exposure. When we select the place, these places always, the dominant, any field whatever the place they go, they are the dominant places. For example, let's say if it is a banking industry, so top bank is the one we select to give the experience for them. If it's a commercial organization, leading commercial entities. So we give them a 3 months exposure, then they return it back to the second year. Within this 3 months period, they get a kind of exposure. At the same time, while they are, understand the theoretical knowledge of the subject, they start to question what they learn from the industry after completion of the first year. They can discuss, because you know that after completion of the first year, they come back to the university to start the second year. When we talk about the marketing, whenever we talk about the organization behavior or financial management, they start to talk. They compare with what they see at the organization, what this theory talk about. You know, it's a kind of dialogue type, student-centered mode. So all these experiences obtained by the students at SLTC to match the industry. Especially design final year internship is there, but at the same time each year we design a time period for them to go to the industry and get experience. While they are working with them, at the same time they too think about how to be an entrepreneur, and or we call businessman. You know that after completion of the degree, as I said, either you can be a job seeker or job creator. Within this 4-year period of time, with this experience, their mindset ready to take a challenge and go for a business work. So I think that's a uniqueness of the SLTC Business School 8 degree programs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hillary. And you very well explained the importance of the entrepreneurial mindset and what we need to do to develop that mindset. Moving back to Dr. Nanda. Dr. Nanda, you have spent a considerable amount of your life with the University of Peradeniya when it comes to your career. And now you are with Sri Lanka Technological Campus. What made you to make this choice to join us? And on the other hand, you are also someone who is very aggressively involved in research activities. So how does research play a key role in developing a person? Over to you, Dr. Nanda.
Okay, thank you very much. Two questions. First, why you came from Peradeniya to SLTC? Straightforward. So we have choices in our life. So we have to take a right decision at the right time. That is the philosophy of mind. So I think for A-level student, you have a choice. You have to take a right decision at the right time. So my choice was Peradeniya is the #1 university for the research and very well known university, very well established university. So at that time, I had a chance to work with more than 100 international institutions and work very closely with them to promote research and education in University of Peradeniya as the Director of Research and International Affairs Division. So why I select SLTC, I got a lot of offers from other institutions through, but when I talk to them, I have realized that now in universities we have different options, okay, because we establish universities for different purposes. The first one is disseminate knowledge, the second one is to create knowledge. So when you go to the industry or government places, so when we think about their salaries, so if you can create new knowledge, you get higher salary. That is very well known. So if you can just pass the information, you cannot get good salary. So as a researcher, I thought, so in private university sector, SLTC want to do a research and develop a research-based university, thereby creating a good student, those who fit to the 21st century. So I have realized that their vision and mission very clearly. Then I declined the other offers and came to SLTC, because without doing research, we cannot create a well-rounded student suit for the 21st century. That's why I select SLTC. Then the second question, actually, as a researcher, I want to tell, while doing research now in SLTC, all staff members, we have compulsory element to do research. Without doing research, they cannot get good salary. That is the logic. Okay, that's very clear. So doing research and working with industry and working with international quality scholars, they can get new knowledge and pass to a student, and student can learn from them and they can apply their knowledge to do a new things. That is the idea. So because of that, we want to do research in SLTC. At the same time, we want to prepare our student for the 21st century, as I emphasize. For that, we have different kind of programs. Now, when I was Peradeniya or government university, it's very difficult to establish student exchange program like 2+2 programs, 3+1 programs because of the rules and regulations. But in private sector, we have freedom to do that. On top of that, we also send our good student to international industrial trainings. So we have that opportunity to do that. Because of that, I select SLTC, and I am very much happy about that. And last year also, as I think private university, we have to attract international grants. And last year also, we got multi-million dollar grant to SLTC, and I think that is a very unique feature when we compare to the private universities in Sri Lanka, and especially most of the private universities in South Asia. So if you can attract international grants, competitive international grant, it saves the capacity of our staff. It's very simple logic.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nanda. You well explained how the setting of SLTC has contributed to you, as well as how you are contributing continuously to SLTC and to development of our students. And turning back again to Dr. Hillary. Dr. Hillary, as I said previously also, you are directly involved with the industry and the public sector both. And today what we do at the world of work is completely different to what we have been doing before March in 2020. Therefore, there's a lot of changes that is needed in the behavior and the skills of anyone who is looking forward to build a career in their lives. What is your advice, sir? How does SLTC functions its operations, especially at the School of Business, to develop the right mindset and to help our graduates to be mindful to adapt to the changing environment and to bring about innovation? Over to you, sir.
Yes, Dr. Shamini, I think this is a very good question. You know, before the COVID situation and after the COVID situation, not after, that means this period, you know, the environment is changed rapidly. I think all of us know, right? People might visit to the office premises and provide their agreed services and return it back. That's before the COVID situation. Now, this period, however, you know, the businessmen, especially business organization, excuses are not entertained at all. You have to deliver what you promised to deliver. Otherwise, production flow is stagnant and whole process is stagnant. Finally, it's directly negative impact to the development of the nation. So, especially, you know, SLTC, we decide to continue our program without interruption even one single day. Through that, we want to pass the message to our students, look, whatever the externalities are happen, we have to have a confidence and the capacity to face these challenges. Take as a challenge, whatever the shock, take as a challenges, develop the mechanism to address this challenge. So that is the way SLTC proceeds. You know, as a result of that, students do realize, okay, whatever the things happen, SLT programs are running without closing even one single day. We are the university, run the program without closing even one single day, continue the program as we plan, conduct the exam as we plan, start the new semester according to our timetable without any changes. I think that is the beauty of the SLTC. Especially for the business school, through this exercise, we convince the students, look, whatever the things happen, you are responsible to deliver what you promised to deliver. So that's the idea first we inculcate. Thereafter, we ask the students, business organization to change their style of process. So you have to adapt it quickly. So that's why we, through our programs, we enhance their language competencies, IT competencies to adjust this changing environment quickly. At the same time, while they are working in this organization, they realize how managers take a decision based on the externalities. So that experience obtained by them, that is the most valuable experience obtained by the SLT students, and they too ready to change and ready to take as a challenge to be a future business leaders.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hillary, for that wonderful advice. So as we come now to the end of the panel discussion, let me very briefly sum up the most valuable information that was shared. So it's a very challenging environment that we live in, and as the younger generation who is looking forward to continue in your higher education, it's important that you see for the opportunities in the world of business, both locally as well as globally, and you need to be aware about a place that provides you the opportunity to adjust yourself to fit into that world of business in the long term. So keeping this in mind, there were very many factors that were discussed through this panel discussion. So it is our attempt to help you to develop yourself continuously. So let's accept all the challenges that might come in our way, in our lives, which may not be avoidable, but what we can do is, if we develop ourselves to be an individual as well as a team player with right competencies and confidence, we should be able to move through these challenges no matter what happens in the external environment. So moving forward in that direction, we wish you all the very best to make your best choices for your higher education, and we look forward to see people joining the industry who could bring about a complete change to this world that we live in for the sustainable development. So wishing you all the very best for a very safe and a healthy life, as well as for a meaningful future. I conclude this panel discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.